Hello, we are the Geeks and the Degenerates, and since the Rings of Power come out on Amazon this month in September, we decided it'd be the best time to talk about the Lord of the Rings. Oh
Yeah.
well. This time, since we did Fellowship of the Ring already, we won't do Two Towers.
Yes. Sadly, we're not going to be covering all of it because it does take up our time.
Yeah, just the
And
remaining main
I
franchises
did
now.
get, yeah, I did get your message where you're like, you're not required to watch the extended cut, but I think I did. It was 3 hours and 55 minutes.
You poor soul. I just watched the 3 hour version.
Fuck it. I really, it was legit like watching a TV show with just 4 episodes.
Right. Anyway, we pick up where we last left off, where Gandalf is fighting the Balrog, and he dies, and Frodo's distraught, and we know already that the group have gone their separate ways. Like, uh, Merry and Pippin are kidnapped by the orcs, and Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli are on their trail, and Sam and Frodo are on their way to Mordor. Uh,
Mordor.
yeah,
And but since I think it wasn't shown in the extended cut, sorry, in the regular cut, in the extended cut, they give us a flashback. I don't know if this was in the regular one. They give us a flashback of Gandalf soloing the Balrog. As he goes down, he catches his sword.
yeah,
Was that in the movie?
yeah. It was in the movie.
Okay, just making sure. I'm gonna point out a lot of shit. I was like, I didn't expect this,
Yeah,
and pretty much soloing him and taking all the XP for himself.
yeah. But it's on their way to Mordor. Frodo and Sam meet Gollum for the first time, and this is our first time seeing Andy Serkis's amazing performance as Gollum.
Yes. And the very conflicting, like, when I was a kid watching this, Gollum to me was that, the conniving, deceiving, character, the one you cannot trust. Watching it now, as I'm a little bit older, as I can comprehend characters, this was such a divide for me. Like, oh god, this whole story could have gone a completely different route if people just didn't treat Gollum like shit.
Right?
Like, fuck, there were moments. Well, of course, we'll talk about it later, but there were moments where I was like, I don't know who to hate more. Like, is it Gollum or the world that's treating him like shit?
Probably both. More in
Yeah.
the world. But yeah, at first he wants to kill them, but like he's like, no, I will guide you through Mordor, and Sam's like, I don't know about this.
I
But
mean, well, Sam has, every right to doubt.
yeah, but Frodo sees like a common bond between him and Gollum, because he knows the story of Smeagol and how the ring corrupted him. So it's like he knows what I'm going through. So he's the only guy I can relate to right now, and I need him, and we need him to go to Mordor to drop the ring in Mount Doom. And then we go to Rohim for a bit, and then we see,
Oh, it's Rohan.
sorry, Rohim are the people and the Celtics.
Rohan are the people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rohan, and we see King Theoden. Is not in the best shape. He's being advised by Grima, and find out eventually that he is possessed by Saruman.
Hmm.
And
And holy shit, like, man didn't, like, look up skincare or anything. Just never took a shower or just never changed his clothes. Just stood there like an old cobbler and just, like,
yeah,
I don't know. Fuck.
and like among the Rohim is Carl Urban. You're like, what the fuck? I totally forgot
Mhm.
he was in this.
And he was one of the top guys, too. I was like,
Yeah,
and to think that uh, Butcher and his dad were in this one movie together.
right.
Yeah, so I was like, shit. And of course, Butcher's dad, what was his name again?
That's not Butcher's dad though. He's in the last movie.
What do you know?
Hmm?
No, I'm talking about Boromir's dad.
Yeah, yeah.
He
Fuck, I
plays he plays Butcher's dad. In the
Right,
movie.
right.
Yeah, yeah. And he plays a very bad father here as well.
Yeah. But Eomir is banned from the kingdom because he's like, why can't you see what he's doing to you? But Grim was like, don't listen to him, he's a traitor.
So he's pretty much just whispering into his ears as he's already weak at 9.
Yeah.
Well, he has this swiper kind of character. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
it's your choice, right? Don't let him in.
Yeah, and then we cut back to Merry and Pippin, and they're being brought to the forest by the orcs, while Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli are on the trail, and the orcs are like, we're so tired, why can't we eat some meat? We've been eating bread, maggoty bread, for the past couple of days. They're like, the hobbits don't need their legs, right? The guy's like, no,
Right?
they need them unharmed. Like, no, we just won't bite.
Yeah. And as soon as like one steps over the line,
Yeah.
it gets decapitated.
Yeah.
You're like, well, I guess we do have food. I'm like, which shows like, yo, yeah, the Uruk-hai are not really the best creatures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
No offense to any Uruk-hais that watch this video. I don't know.
Sorry for the imaginary creatures who get offended. And then, as they're running from the fight that's going on, they're still tracked by that one orc. And then he gets stopped because they're saved by the Rohirrim cavalry. And then they go deeper into the forest, and then they're saved by the what do you call them? The ants?
Ents?
Yeah,
Ents.
ants.
Yeah. But like, yeah. Well, we see from the distance, like, oh shit, there was an attack by the Rohirrim army. Or Rohan army. As they get taken out, Merry and Pippin are just kind of in the middle of the shit and just kind of saw it. They weren't really rescued. They were more of like in the middle of an attack.
Yeah, they were in the crossfire.
Yeah.
Like,
And they just, found their way out.
poor Merry or Pippin almost gets crushed by a horse. Like, oh, I guess at the end.
Yeah. And like they escape into the woods and run into the elder, what was his name again?
Ants?
No, like Treebeard, yeah. I felt so bad for this one orc. Well, not really. But he just got stomped the fuck out. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess he's gone.
Alright? And then Treebeard's like, I want to take you to the White Wizard, and Merry and Pippin are like, oh shit.
Fuck. No, even to us, like, watching it for the first time, if you haven't seen the memes or if you haven't seen any videos
Yeah.
of this movie in YouTube or, again, memes, you would think that, oh, fuck, it's Saruman.
Like, why is this gentle creature such a snitch? No.
Yeah, earlier in the movie, Saruman was like, sir, we're running out of fuel. Use the trees.
Yeah?
Look at this vast land of fuel.
Like, you're going to give them over to the guy who's killing your creatures? Oh, fine.
Your own kind, yeah. Like, I don't know.
And then we cut back to Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli, and they've seen the smoke from the attack, and they see the cavalry, and Aragorn calls them out, like, and they're like, what business do you have with the Rohirrim? And he's like, well, we're looking for hobbits. Have you seen them? No, but we have attacked a convoy of orcs.
Probably a platoon of ones.
Yeah.
Or, and they see within the burning mountain of bodies is, I think, Pippin's knife holster?
Yeah.
Or sheath. And they pretty much were like, fuck, they're dead. And well, then, Aragorn pretty much has his tracking skills. Hey, they're fine.
Speaking of
They
like,
escape.
did you know Viggo Mortensen broke his toe when he kicked the helmet?
Really?
Yeah, so that scream is real.
So him in despair was just him in like pain. You're like, ah, because that was a legit like cry of like terror. My friends have died. I didn't know that he broke his toe.
Yeah.
It was just like, you know what? I'll use this.
Yep, and only later on he was like, I broke my toe, and they were like, oh shit, okay.
Oh fuck. I feel like a lot of people should have broken something in the making of this movie.
Yeah.
There were a lot of amazing stunts in this
Movie?
Yeah.
Sorry, let me go to something else. But yeah.
Sorry.
They go deeper into the forest, and they think they also see the White Wizard. They're like, Well, we have to attack quickly, swiftly. We can't give him a chance to attack back.
Well, hey, shame on Gandalf
Yeah,
because he had like this voice modulator that made him sound like Saruman,
yeah,
like Christopher Lee. I'm like,
yeah. The first time watching them, it's like, I guess they are fucked.
yeah, like well, I guess this movie ends here
Right?
or on their quest. I do like it that this movie is like, at the first movie they were all together. In this movie, you have your own like different like storytelling.
Yeah.
So I guess 3 hours is the right amount of time to tell these three quests.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see.
And like we get the reveal that Gandalf is back. He is alive.
A kind of anticlimactic, I would say.
Really now.
Yeah, like I was like, oh, that's bro. I'm happy you're here.
It's funny because that's what the trailers gave away. If you go back and see the trailers, you're like, I guess Gandalf's back.
Yeah.
And then they go to Rohan because they need them, and they confront the king. They got rid of their weapons. Just the guards are like, no weapons. But Gandalf's like, you wouldn't deprive an old man of his walking stick now, would you? They're like, fine.
He ain't wrong. He is old.
Yeah.
He's like 300.
Yeah. And then they go into Théoden's room, and that's when Gandalf unveils himself, and Grandma's like, I told you to get rid of everything. They're like, oh, I didn't know he's a wizard.
And you gotta love how, God, what was the name of the king?
Théoden.
Théoden was like, you have no power here, Gandalf the Grey. And then Gandalf the Grey was like, ah, but I'm white. And he's like, ah! That shit was so funny to me.
Why are you white, Théoden? You can't just ask why he's white.
Hey, you can't just ask that.
But yeah, this scene proves that Gandalf is stronger than Saruman. And Saruman's like, oh shit. I'm
Right. Because, like, he was possessing the king.
Yeah.
And then we had this whole exorcist moment, and he got banished.
Yeah.
And Theoden got his skin complexion back.
Yeah. And like, it gets in the way of his plans for conquering Mordor. Or, sorry, Middle-earth. Because like, the plan is to make these two towers. One in Isengard, with him in control, and one with Mordor. In Mordor, where Sauron is in control. I don't know how he was going to convince Sauron to share power. But like, I will do your bidding, master. I guess.
Yeah. Well, he wants the industrial revolution to happen. He wants wheels and smoke and, metal.
I guess.
He wants to make London.
Yeah. And then Théoden gets back to normal, banishes Grima, and unfortunately finds out that, oh shit, my son's dead. What do I do now?
Yeah, they did, like... Was it the attack that Karl Urban led that he was kind of injured from? No.
No, that was like beginning. That's where we meet Karl Urban. We're like, oh shit, I think that's Karl Urban and a dead guy. Barely clinging on to life.
Right, and then he dies in his bed. Which I think he was supposed to make it, but the very sleazy guy kind of assassinated him.
Yeah. And
Do you think? I don't know. They didn't show.
And then Gandalf's like, Sauron's gonna come back, bigger and madder, and like we have to retreat to a safer place, and they all agree to move to Helm's Deep.
No, they didn't. They're like, no, we are running into like a bottleneck, horrible situation. What are you doing?
Yeah, half of them were like, but we don't want to go there. We'll be trapped. And
Yeah, Aragorn was like, no, that is a horrible decision. And it was like, oh, but are you king? You know?
And then Gandalf tells Aragorn, like, wait for me on the 5th day.
What'd you call him?
Gandalf.
Alright, good.
I'm trying so hard. And then we cut back to Frodo and Sam, and we find out that the Nazgûl are still after them.
And this time, with wings.
Yeah.
This shit was cool, though. I wanted to get a figure of this when I was young.
Same here. Like, I think Funko has, like, the Witch King himself. I'm like, that's pretty sick.
Hasbro, like, had this, like, really early 2000s figure of it. Yeah, it came in a big box.
Ooh.
I wanted to get it so bad.
And then they see this convoy of Sauron's human army with Oliphants, and as they're watching, the column gets ambushed by, what's his name? Faramir?
I think it was Faramir.
Yeah,
Faramir.
Faramir, who is the brother of Boromir.
Yeah.
And he kind of looks like him, like, I see the
Oddly enough, I was like, Boromir?
Yeah.
No, not gonna lie. I was like, oh shit, he's back. He's alive. He
Yeah.
woke up on his boat.
And then I was like, oh shit, that's the guy from 300.
Yeah. Also Van Helsing.
Yeah. And like, huh?
Yeah, he was the priest guy.
Oh shit! You're right. And then eventually, as they're interrogating Frodo, they find out like, oh shit, he has the One Ring. And we have to bring him to. Faramir decides to bring him to his father, but before that, they're so mean to Gollum. Just
No, but here's the thing, like, they're going through the marshes, right?
Yeah.
Before they got caught. That was a terrifying scene, by the way, where the bodies don't even decompose.
yeah. I was
And like,
but Master's my friend. You don't have any friends. That was like,
you don't have any friends. But like, they all hate you and shit. Yeah, this is the part where Smeagol like finally had control of his own mind because he was finally experiencing friendship for the first time in how many years?
yeah.
Like, or friendship, or at least he's relating to somebody because somebody's going through the same situation as he did. This was such a looked over part on Gollum's like character, where I was like, shit, he was conflicted and like he was ready to be a good person
Yeah.
or a good whatever he is.
Just that the rest of the world then treated him like shit, like when
Oh, yeah, he looks-
men ambushed him, and he's like, Master,
No, like they put a bag over his head. Even Frodo was like, "Wait, don't hurt him!" And they start kicking him on the floor. And I was like, "Oh God!" And I get Gollum. Like, I get it that like Smeagol would actually turn back into Gollum because of that situation, because he trusted Frodo to be like, "Hey, you're supposed to come with me, and we're going on our adventure."
yeah. And then they're interrogating him, and Gollum's like to Smeagol, like, why is Smeagol crying? He's like, Master tricked us. And then he stole it from us. And Farmer's like, what did they steal? He just goes, my precious. We're like,
Yeah.
oh shit.
Yeah, and Frodo kind of reveals like, "Hey, I was actually friends with your brother, Boromir, and I was there on his death, at his death, or before his death."
Yeah, before his death. I mean,
Yeah, because Frodo was kind of shocked that he found out that Boromir died.
yeah, because he ran away. He's like, fuck this situation.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot. Boromir was trying to kill Frodo because he had the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we do get to see a flashback why Boromir had to get the ring, where his dad pretty much ordered him to be like, "Hey, go to the Shire," or where was it again?
The Hobbiton? Sure.
Was it? I don't know. But anyway, he was like, "You have to find the ring. It will give us power enough to defeat Saruman and win the war and put Gondor on power." For sure, that was the plan.
Yeah.
And you just see this horrible dad, like, the youngest son's doing his best, like, he's not doing anything wrong. And he looks like he's good at his job leading the Rangers. But he was like, "Nah, he's a fuck up." And I was like, the fuck?
What a dick. And then it's throughout the movie too that we get to see that there's a romance between Aragorn and Arwen.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, oddly enough, because in the last movie, we were kind of made to believe that Aragorn's meant to be with, Elf Lady. Fuck it. Her name's escaping.
Arwen.
Oh, wait, sorry, I thought you were talking about the blonde.
No, that's Eowyn. I know these names, man.
Robert and Bobbert. I don't know. Fuck.
But yeah, Arwen, the dilemma is that Elrond is telling Aragorn, like, don't make her stay. She has another life. And he's also Elrond's also telling Arwen that if you stay, yeah, you'll be together, but he'll die eventually through a sword or through time, and you'll just be by yourself alone. Is that really
Yeah.
worth it?
Yeah. Like, Hugo Weaving doesn't really want his daughter to be with a mortal.
Yeah,
Or like, submortal. Like, he does live long, though.
yeah, yeah.
He is 85, and he looks great.
And also too, Galadriel tells Arwen like, "Hey, we should play our hand in this fight too because it is for the fate of Middle Earth. We can't just be like, nope, we have the afterlife to look forward to."
Yeah. I do love that scene, though, where Erwin?
That's the blonde girl,
No. The
elf,
elf. Yeah,
Arwen.
Erwin. Where she just goes through time. She sees a situation. She sees, Aragorn like die of old age, and she just waits as a widow.
Yeah,
I was like, that was a cool shot where she's all in black and she has the veil, and then she's just standing in front of her husband's like tomb. I was like, that's nice.
yeah.
Not a nice situation, but it's beautiful scene.
We get it, John. But we got to Sam and Pippin, and there were Treebeard, and he's in the
Salmon Pippin.
sorry, Pippin, Merry and Pippin. I'm getting confused. But they're in the End Council, I guess, and Treebeard's like, "We have decided that you're not orcs." They're like, "But what about the fight?"
Right, like, what? No, how about something more important?
Yeah,
I thought I thought Gandalf the White kind of cleared that up.
yeah. They're like, "No, we can't interfere. This is not our fight." And like, hearing the words of Treebeard and then hearing the words of, was it Merry or Pippin, was like, "No, you have to fight. This is your world."
Mary.
Merry, like, yeah,
Yeah.
we have to fight. This is your world, too. You can't just be idle. Like those words that Mary says, I'm like, wow, these resonate with you. These resonate hard, very hard.
With current times.
Yeah.
That's true.
But Treebeard's taking them home, and then they're like, actually, want to go the other direction, near Isengard, so that since we're small, they can't notice us. And Treebeard's
Yeah, like if we're closer to danger, we're far away from harm.
yeah,
Like, I guess that works. But of course, it's just a ploy for them to show Treebeard,
his dead friends.
yeah, all of his dead friends used as fuel, used as material for this horrible war that's gonna rise upon them. And this angers Treebeard.
Yeah,
And which kind of shows one of the coolest scenes in fantasy movies,
yeah,
where just a bunch of gigantic Transformer-sized Ents demolishing Uruks and Urukais. I was like, oh, woo, that was hot.
yeah. And then we cut back to the column going to Helm's Deep, and they're ambushed by wargs, and they seem to be handling on their own. But like, Aragorn gets caught on one of them, and he falls off the cliff. And the first time I was like, but his face is on the third movie. It's on the poster.
Wait a minute, he's supposed to live. But yeah, like he falls off the cliff. There's a river, but we all know movie tropes. When there's a river underneath, they made it.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I don't know why that orc thought would be good to talk shit to. Like, it was like, your friend's dead. Please don't kill me.
No, but I feel like he kind of knew that he was at death's doorstep,
Yeah.
so he's like, I don't fucking care. I'm dying anyway.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
But before that, like, poor Gimli gets pinned by one dead warg, and then gets pinned by a dead orc, and then gets pinned by another dead warg.
He got pinned by a dead dog, then got pinned by an orc,
Yeah.
dies, and another dog pins them.
Yeah. And he's
I don't know how
fuck.
Gimli's legs weren't like destroyed by that
Right.
point by the weight.
But yeah, at first they're all devastated by, because they think Aragorn's dead. They're like, shit, now what? And
Yeah, especially
Eowyn.
Eowyn. Yeah, because we
Uh,
thought like, hey, she kind of likes him.
Yeah, yeah. You're like, there's some blossoming feelings there. But thankfully, Aragorn does make it back in time for one of the best battles I've seen in any movie. Like, yeah, I do like Endgame and Infinity War, but this is kind of more epic, I guess I would say. Yeah.
It's the build-up, homie. It
Yeah.
was 3 hours.
Yeah.
So like the build-up for it was really worth it. Like you see how the machine was turning, all the cogs and all the pieces were working together in harmony to lead to this moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though you don't see it, you know that it's coming. Like Hugo Weaving talking to Galadriel and just like, hey, we got to go into this war, and that's when the elves come in just to give them a little bit more backup. And Gandalf was like, hey, your other army's miles away. I'll be back. Look to the east by tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the fact that they're all like, we're gonna die, and Aragorn has to be the one to rally them all. Even Legolas is like, what's the point? We're all gonna die by tomorrow. He's like, no, we're not. We're gonna make our stand here.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually Sauron's army does surround them, and it is a cool scene, like seeing the first volley of arrows just hit all the orcs, but the first one guy's just like, I can barely hold it, and then hits an orc, and all the orcs are pissed off. Like, how dare
was just like, fuck!
how dare they kill Fred?
Fred the Urukai.
That is a sweet scene because they're firing all the arrows, and the Urukai are scaling the ladders, and they're knocking them back. But they do point out like there's one weak point in Helm's Deep, like this tunnel.
Yeah, where I think the sewage goes through, or like
Yeah.
a drainage tunnel.
And this is why I question Legolas's or this movie's like cliche, because like Legolas is like the deadliest sharpshooter, but with this suicide bomb Urukai, he's like, shoulder shot. Like, I can't hit him anymore. Like,
Nah, but he was chat as fuck though. Like he knows what he was doing. Like I ain't gonna go down through the pain. I'm gonna die. Who knows? Maybe he was like hopped up on shrooms or some shit. He didn't feel anything, but he like dives into the like that little drainage tunnel with like the gunpowder inside of it and blows the fuck up the wall. I can't grammar. This scene was too great.
yeah. All this happened while Legolas and Gimli have like their kill count, and you hear them like, "What do you do? No, that only counts as one. Fuck you."
You gotta love how like one's already dead. They hit it and like that's one.
And I do love seeing Legolas like use a shield as a skateboard and just fire all the arrows he has.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it like stops him from having deadly aim, but it's cool to see.
As this happened, as you point out, the Ents are besieging Isengard, and Saruman's like, "Fuck, I didn't gather this."
Fuck. He was like, I should have not used the forest. Shit.
And then we cut back to Helm's Deep, and the king is like, "We're surrounded. We have to retreat back to the keep." But like they're besieging the front gate, and it's already breached, and they're like, "We have to repair it." Aragorn and Gimli have to cause a distraction in the front, and they're sneaking through the walls, and Gimli's like, "I can't make that jump. Toss me. Please don't tell the elf."
Please don't tell the elf.
And it is cool seeing Aragorn and Gimli just solo this entire column by themselves.
Dude, there's a lot of times where Gimli, Aragorn and Legolas would just 3 players solo this entire army, and it's so nice to see.
Yeah.
Especially Théowen, he comes in handy. Like he gets stabbed, he cuts off that one other guy's arm.
Yeah. He can stand his own, but like they eventually retreat into the inner keep, and they're like, "Guess this is it. We're gonna die."
Yeah. No, but Aragorn was kind of like, he sees the sun like coming up from a window. And he was like, "Oh, a wizard's always on time."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh shit! All right, look to the east. Ride with me."
Yeah. And like they solo this entire massive army charging out the door, and the orcs are like, "I thought they were done for. Fuck."
And to the east, you see Gandalf with Carl Urban. I don't know his name in this movie. I'm sorry. They all sound the same.
That's racist. Okay, no. And then they use the sun to their advantage too, because they always looking at like, oh no, it's too bright. What am I looking at?
See, this is what happens when you fight against the light.
Yeah.
But this shit was badass.
Yeah.
As they start going in, like, fucking Gandalf just all in with staff and sword in hand.
Yeah.
Doesn't give a fuck.
Like, this is like a taste of what we'll get in Return of the King. You're like, oh shit, I can't wait.
Yep.
And then they push the army back, and then we cut back to Frodo and Sam, and they're in Osgiliath, and Faramir is giving them to one of the captains, like, bring them to my father. And then Sam's like, you know what happened to your brother? He went crazy coming after the ring. That's why he died. And then Faramir's not like, how dare you? He's just like, oh shit.
Right. Well, at the background, a couple of Rangers are still kicking, like, bone. I'm like, yo, you gotta stop. Somebody tell him to stop, please.
And then at one point, they're pinned down. Or they're hiding from the Nazgul on the Drake. And at one point, Frodo's like, he goes on top with the ring. He's like, fuck it. I'll give it to them already. I give up. Because he hears Sauron in his ear. And you're like, I swear I thought I saw him in the poster for the third movie too. What's gonna happen?
Yeah, but like, Sam comes in last second, saving him, and you can tell that like Frodo's kind of tired.
Yeah.
He's mad that like Sam stopped him. He is going mad from the ring, but like, of course, he was like, "Why did you stop me from dying? Please, let's just stop this."
And then Sam gives this amazing speech of, I can't say it word for word, but like, eventually, the spirit of the speech is, yes, these are dark times. Dark times are ahead, but there's always light. There's always hope, and that hope keeps us alive. There is going to be better days, so just hold on to that. And I don't know if you saw, the actor posted that speech at the beginning, in the middle of 2020, and I was like, oh, I have hope to hang on. Hopefully, this whole thing goes over.
Yeah. Oh, I love Sam the Brave.
Yeah, such an amazing speech. But after the Nazgul attack, Faramir's like, no, I'm not letting you go. And the captain's like, you know your father's orders. Like, if we let them go, you are putting yourself in debt. You're giving yourself the death sentence. Like, fuck it. You're free.
Oh, I hate my dad anyways. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like Faramir hears the speech and kind of like sees like, oh, they are trying to do good.
Yeah.
They are probably our only hope.
Yeah.
Because they were sent on this journey as destined. They have to bring the ring to Mount Doom.
Yeah.
And they, he sends them their way, and I do like it when he says, I didn't know in Shire they hold gardeners to a high regard. And I'm like, ah. So I'm like, he was pretty much complimenting Sam.
Yeah. And then we cut back to Helm's Deep, and Gandalf's like, the Battle of Helm's Deep is over, but the Battle for Middle-earth has just begun. And then,
as they look over, they see like Mordor. I'm like, fuck.
And then
that's what we gotta do.
And then Isengard, we cut back there and you see Saruman's pretty much surrounded and fucked. So they're like, he's not the threat anymore. And then we cut back to Sam and Frodo, and Sam's like, I can't wait to hear the story in the books, like of when people tell about this tale of Frodo being so brave and courageous. And he's like, you forgot the other principal player. Who? Samwise the Brave. It's like, oh, you're just buttering me up. Like, no, I'm serious. And then, unfortunately,
but yeah, we do see Gollum in the background finally breaking.
Yeah.
Where we thought he would be good. He would be another addition to the stack of heroes who will be taking part in this journey to destroy the ring. But sad to say, he does break. Yeah. The world has treated him like shit, and I feel bad.
From the Rangers were one too many.
Yeah. Like, that's all I can say is, like, if he stayed as Smeagol, he would be, like, standing with them with Chewbacca, and they're getting the medals and shit.
Yeah. But yeah, he decides like, no, we'll kill them. And then we see at distance Mount Doom and the Eye, and that's where the film closes. So
Okay, I feel like we watched the same thing then, because I don't know what the extended cut added. If anybody knows, let us know in the comments below what the extended cut brought, because it was 3 hours and 55 minutes.
yeah, Jomer wasted 4 hours of life being like, I think this is the real version.
No, but what's in it? Like, I don't know what's in it.
Yeah, please tell us in the comment section.
Like, what did they add into the movie?
But before Jomer loses his mind about wasting 4 hours, what would you rate this one?
My hair starts to fall out. I get skinny. Start talking to myself in the third person. I'm gonna give this one a solid 10.
Yeah.
This was our modern epic. This is what we grew up with when we were young.
Yeah.
This is the thing that we considered, yeah, as I said, an epic. Like what Dune is to the new generation. It was such a sight to see. You see the spectacle, you see the landscapes, you see the vast amount of armies, the battles. That was all practical, by the way. Helm's Deep was practical. For sure, if there was an elephant somewhere here or there, that's not practical, but like, you get what I mean.
Yeah.
And writing was beautiful. You were always engaged. You were never bored.
Yeah.
I never caught myself looking at my phone watching this entire movie. Of course, I had to take a break because it was 4 fucking hours. But I always wanted to get back into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a straight up 10 out of 10 for me, and I don't know what I gave Fellowship of the Rings.
I think we gave it 10 out of 10 too.
Yeah,
it's well deserved
wow.
too.
Yeah, so like, you know, Game of Thrones catch up.
Right. Yeah, I also give us a 10 out of 10. Like, the battles are amazing. Like, yeah, we have Endgame and Infinity War today, but like, this shit's still hype. We're like, just watching, you're like, holy shit.
Endgame was a time, but this was like in a league of its own.
Right.
Especially it expands with 3 other fucking movies.
Right. And then the characters are all well written, and the set design, the cinematography, for fuck's sake, is just beautiful. Everything about this movie is like near perfection. That's like, and as you pointed out, like it may be like half the day's worth of you just sitting down, but like you just can't take your eyes off. You're like, I like this world, and it doesn't feel like 4 or 3 hours. You don't feel that like, oh god, I've been here forever.
Yeah.
Thankfully,
But like,
it's a good time.
yeah, like I could rewatch this. Not gonna lie, I could rewatch the whole entire series of course, with breaks.
Yeah.
Of Lord of the Rings without getting bored. I will get tired, but I will not be bored.
Right? But yeah, that's been our video on the 2 towers. What do you guys think? Comment below. Please be cool. If you want to see more of us on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. If you want to see us react to trailers, live stream video games, or about our lives, we have a Facebook at Facebook account us. Geeks and Degenerates. Sorry, I ran out of breath for a minute.
Breathe!
This podcast might not be 4 hours, but if you want to hear us for 30 minutes on the road, we do have a Spotify podcast. So there's that. Individually, though, you can find me at Gandalf95 on IG and Twitter. How about you?
Oh, you can find me at JomGOM on Instagram. It is my art account.
And for this video, at least, that's all the time we have. We'll see you on the next. I wonder what the next one is. I just hope you don't have arachnophobia. But yeah, we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Wait, I have arachnophobia.
Bye.